Greetings and salutations. Today we're going to be talking about the midpoint formula and what it means to be a midpoint or in the middle. So what you're going to need is your notes as always, a pen or pencil, and maybe a calculator. What does it mean when we say midpoint, or what does it mean to be the midpoint of something? A midpoint is in the middle of a segment. If we're talking geometry, because this is geometry class, in order to be in the middle of something, like say a segment, we're saying it divides into two equal parts. Other ways that you can think about middle is the median or the mean, or mean also means the average. And let's look at like a little simple example. If I wanted to find the average or the mean or the middle for some test scores, let's say I have two test scores from two students, 89% and 96%, what would I do to figure out the middle between them? When we average something, what we're doing is we're taking all the numbers, in this case 2, and dividing it by how many scores we had. So we had two test scores, we add them together, divide by 2, and the middle then becomes 92.5%. So that's my middle, midpoint, average, mean, okay? So using this idea of how we find the average, that's what we're going to do today when we find midpoints of segments in geometry. So if we go back to our foldable, the second half is the midpoint formula, and it's exactly how we explained it on the last slide. It's the average between the x values and the average between the y values. If we wanted to find the middle between the exact middle between these 2 points, we'd want to find this midpoint. We would have to take the average of our x values on both of these points and the average of our y values on both of these points. So if you want to make a little mental note that says that our answer will be an ordered pair, you can do so because the midpoint is looking for a point. So if we look at the last two examples in our foldable, we can find midpoint for both of them. So example 3 says, find the midpoint of the line segment with endpoints 1, -2, and -2, 7. So first let's recall the midpoint formula, which is x1 plus x2 all over 2, and y1 plus y2 all over 2. Remember that this first order pair they gave us is x1, y1, and the second one is x2, y2. So now we're just plugging in those values appropriately. So we have x1 is 1 plus x2 is -2, all divided by 2. y1 is a -2 plus 7, which is y2, all over 2. Now we just simplify. So we have 1 plus -2 for a -1 over 2, and a -2 plus 7 gives us 5 over 2. So our ordered pair, or our midpoint for example 3, is a -1/2, 5/2. So if we want to look at the last example, I'm not going to copy down the equation, but we'll just plug in. This is our x1 value, y1 value, x2 value, y2 value. So m is equal to x1, which is -4, plus a -2, all divided by 2, and y1, which is a -4, plus y2, which is -8, divided by 2. And now we just simplify. -4 plus a -2 is a -6 over 2, and -4 plus -8 is a -12 over 2. And now when we simplify those fractions, our final ordered pair is -3, -6. And that is all that I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.